Hey guys, let's look at some of these meme stock option plays. I had some content on yesterday. I put a GME trade on there, a DJT trade on there. So we'll see how they're doing. They're all down today. Just a little bit though, like $10. The idea of this series is if you have to YOLO, I'm trying to find smart ways to YOLO that also sell options that are overpriced. So it makes it where you can YOLO, where you can afford to YOLO. Every time I get started, he gets out here. Okay, so we're going to talk about DJT today. First, we're going to try a new trade today. Yesterday, we did a trade in DJT, which is kind of a proxy for Trump's fortunes. So, okay, I went and got Jackson. Now the other dog is barking. You have got to be kidding me. Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. All right, so today we're gonna look at how to call BS on Trump. Like I showed a trade yesterday that would show that if Trump won and the price of DJT went up, this trade would make a lot of money, have a ton of convexity, make like 7 to 1 on like a 50% move. It would make like 7 times his money back. It was a great trade. Go look at yesterday's content. We'll review it here in a second. Wonder if you think the opposite's true. Wonder if you're done with the Trump, era. You think that he's going to lose or whatever. All right, and you think that DJT is a good proxy for his fortunes. I'm not necessarily sure it is, but a lot of people believe it is. All right. This trade right here is 3 options in the same expiration time period. It happens to be November 15th after the election. Well, this is called a butterfly. You hear people talk about butterflies all the time. So it just means it just wants DJT not to move down more than 34% or more than up 30%, and this trade makes tons of money. It only loses if DJT moves way up or way down. But there's something called a broken wing butterfly. So maybe go like, all right, something like that. Okay, so there's the problem with this trade. It exposes you to a large loss. You're trying to make 607, and if you're right, you're only going to make $82. So if you're right and Trump does bad, this stock can go to zero theoretically. I mean, it's going to go down. So you're looking at $82 for $600 risk. To lose the $600, it has to move against you 87%. DJT has to move up more than 25. If DJT stays, goes nowhere, you actually stand to make a little bit more money. Let's go right here to after the election. After the election, DJT goes nowhere. You can make about $100. If it goes down a little bit, you can make a little bit more, 123. If it goes down way down, you make $82. Risk is $600. So if you're looking at about 8%. You're going for about an 8% gain here. Now, if you hold it all the way to expiration and it goes absolutely nowhere, there's a chance you could make more. But I think realistically, take it in right around into here and take whatever you get for it. Here's the caveat with this trade. Yesterday's trade that was pro-Trump, it wasn't pro-Trump. Like I said, it was pro-DJT, but it was thinking that it would do well with Trump's fortunes. It was a long volatility trade because I believe if Trump does win, it's going to be in the case of implied volatility. That's what I think. And so that trade was engineered to make money off being long volatility. This trade is the opposite. This trade is engineered to make money off being short volatility. So this trade, I just showed you the profit losses if the volatility didn't change, but this trade is meant for the volatility to drop. And you see, if the volatility drops, this trade can make more money and it makes it faster. This trade is sensitive to volatility insofar as if volatility goes up, this trade actually becomes a little bit less profitable and its break-even price moves closer. But granted, even if volatility goes up, the price has to move against you 24% before this trade loses money. So hang on, let me get the dog. Okay. But the way we did this trade, it is calling for lower volatility. But in any event, so I just want to explain there are two different trades. Calendar spreads are actually long volatility, where they make money, more money if volatility goes up during the course of the trade. I showed you a broken wing butterfly. Broken wing butterflies are actually sensitive to volatility too, in the opposite way, where they make more money if volatility goes down during the course of the trade. Okay, so now the dogs are barking at the mailman. That's great. I had to put him in. All right, to tell you the truth, I don't really like the payoff of this one. I don't like where you risk a lot more to get a little result and stuff. Now, granted, the trades, it has to move against you a long way, and I'm not bullish on the future of the DJT stock. I mean, ETF or stock, I guess. SPAC, it's a SPAC. But I know. I mean, I know nothing. But just from a risk reward basis, I like the opposite trade more. Like I say, even though I'm not bullish, just because I would, on DJT particularly, I would rather have exposure in case something crazy happened. And, I think that, the surprising thing would be if something did happen. Okay. So here is the trade yesterday that's like a bullish trade in DJT. It's a calendar spread. And what you do is you sell the 30 call, the November 15th 30 call, and you buy the 30 call in January of next year. The 30 call in November is way overpriced relative to other calls. The one in January is probably a little overpriced too, but not as much as the one in November because of the event fall. So that's the whole idea. The spread ought to be more. This ought to cost you more. You could put it on yesterday for like $89. Today it's $94. In any event, you could see the price. The price is such that if the market doesn't move between now and expiration, this trade makes money. You could do this trade and the market doesn't have to go anywhere. If DJT, the stock goes up to 25, this trade makes $500. If it goes to 35, it makes $600. Goes to 45, it makes $400. Also, if it goes up, what the play here is that the election will come. Here's November 6th, the day after the election. The election will come. It'll be a big victory for Trump. But people will be excited and the market will be volatile because, it's because it's Trump. I mean, so the volatility will jump up. And even if the stock doesn't jump up that high, you get bonus money. $20 is worth $4.50. $30 is worth almost $7. So anyway, that's the idea. There's two ideas with this. It's long volatility and it's bullish on the stock. The downside is, what you're trying to beat is obviously if the stock goes down and if volatility goes down, it makes this trade a lot less attractive. You won't lose any more money. Your loss is locked in at $95 or whatever. As volatility comes in, your break even, the trade becomes way less attractive. This trade is that's why they call this trade long volatility. So you want to put this trade on right here, and then before volatility, you're trying to put this trade on with low volatility and by high volatility. It's not just about which way the market's going to go. That's part of it too. This is bullish. It's neutral to bullish because it really doesn't need the market to go anywhere. Really, and if volatility goes up and the market goes nowhere, it's a $100 trade that can make $228. If we just have increased volatility between now and the election. And that's a very distinct possibility. Like I say, the opposite is we get to the election and Trump doesn't win, and volatility starts coming in, maybe volatility's down 50%, then this trade is probably going to be a loser. But in any event, to me, it's a way to throw a small amount of money. What I think is the idea in options, to put a small amount of money and to have a lot of upside, not to be capped, to have your upside uncapped. And, it's not totally uncapped. But it has a lot of upside to it. So then what people do is you can be sure to hit unlink. You can hit unlink and you can just buy an extra long. And this makes it a ratio spread. And now instead of risking just under 100, you're risking just under 400. But it has a lot of the same advantages. But, if the price goes to 20, that's worth 400, which is about the same as the other one. But if the price goes to, 40, it's worth 1900, which is not the same as the other one. So this would be for the Uber bull. I'll save this one as the Uber bull. Let's see, Uber bull, and we'll save it as a new trade. So anyway, we'll keep an eye on these trades and see how they do. They're just for fun. You could also do it on meme trades. GME makes a nice one. Look at this GME trade. This trade costs just under $80. Just under $80. If for some reason GME gets on one of these runs, it could be worth, 5,000. It could easily be worth 1,000 if GME runs to 50. I'm not saying it's going to, but it's not out of the realm of possibilities. A trade like this has two targets. It has a primary target right here at 40. The reason 40 is a target is because we sold a calendar spread at the 40 strike. Okay. Then we bought one extra long, so that made it a ratio calendar spread. But basically 40 is the key level here, and that's basically what we're aiming for. We'd be very happy with the price of 40. And this is what I mean when this is an example of convexity, or maybe not so much a little bit convexity, but an example of asymmetric risk and reward, which is a quality that convex trades have also. Risking $80, and if you do get it to 40, it's not even a doubling in the stock price. 50% up in the stock price is a $300 return on 70. If we double the stock, which would be 100% return, double the price, it's a $1,000 winner on a $80 trade. So it's like a 12 bagger. So there's definitely asymmetry and some convexity on the upside here, where you're going to do better than you should, and then other people do, on the upside if GME goes up. Now, if GME goes down or stays the same, kiss the $80 goodbye, right? So all you have to do, go to OptionStrat and figure out how much money you have that you want to risk on this trade, hit link legs. And then, let's say you want to play $1,000. Okay. Let's say you want to play $1,000 on it just because you have a feeling. And then GME does end up going to $60 or something. That's a $23,000 winner. This spread doesn't expire tomorrow. It's good. It's good till October 18th. If it goes to 100, you can, make $70,000. But if you could just get it to double, which is saying a lot, but if you could just get it to double, your $1,000 turns into $12,000. Like I say, 12 bagger. Okay, so those are the meme trades of the day. I also have one in here on AMC. If you guys want, I'll post the trades we talked about today in case anyone's following along at home. There's GME. I'm just trying to make sure we cover everything. DJT. I don't know if I showed the AMC YOLO, so it's such a cheap stock. You might as well just buy shares in this thing because, the stock only costs, $4.50. Just go buy 1,000 shares for $4,500. But if you want to get fancy, you could do this. Check out this. This is not the worst thing to do. We'll set a target at 20. Not the worst thing to do. You could the 7 call is way too much money. You could sell it for 8 cents, and you could buy the 7 call and the expiration behind it for 10 cents. And it sets up where you don't have very much money in the trade. You can do that trade cheap and a lot of times, and you're looking for a double, or you're actually looking for about a 50%. If it goes up by 50%, this is turning $100 into $1,500 or $1,200 for 50%. If you get a double out of this, it gets about a 6-bagger. But it also has is exposed long to upside. But like I said, you could also just get a couple hundred shares of GME or of AMC and do the same thing. But this is just a 33 by 30. So it's a ratio call spread. You have just a few more longs and shorts. If that's not enough money, same thing as last time. Just adjust it until it's as much money as you can afford to lose. Because that's usually what happens on these meme stocks. You lose it. So we want to keep this part just as small as possible. So when we do have an outlier win, it is a 10 or a 15 bagger. That to me is the whole philosophy, right? Anyway, let me know what you guys like to do. I appreciate y'all for being here. We'll check in on these trades tomorrow and see how they're doing. All right, see ya.